Once upon a time, in a kingdom kissed by sunlight and laughter, there lived a kind young girl named Cinderella. Her heart was as gentle as the morning breeze, and her smile could warm even the coldest day. But though her soul shimmered with kindness, her life was far from fair. After her mother passed away, her father married a woman who smiled in public but carried shadows in her heart. Fifths. Stepmother had two daughters who were as proud as they were cruel. When Cinderella's father was gone, they made her the servant of her own home. Every dawn, Cinderella would sweep the floors, wash the dishes, and polish the mirrors until they sparkled like dreams she could no longer reach. Yet, through every chore, she hummed softly, a tune that carried hope, fluttering like a small bird in a grey sky. In the evenings, when the house was quiet, she would sit by the ashes of the fireplace, gazing into the orange glow. The sparks reminded her of her mother's voice, warm, comforting, whispering that kindness is its own kind of magic. Then, one golden morning, a royal announcement echoed through the town. The prince was holding a grand ball, inviting every maiden in the land. Laughter filled the air. Gowns were sewn, ribbons tied, and dreams began to flutter. Cinderella's heart lifted. Perhaps for one night, she could step out of the shadows and into the light. But her stepmother only laughed. "You, a servant girl at the royal ball," she sneered. And as the glittering carriage rolled away with her stepsisters inside, Cinderella was left alone, tears falling onto the cold stone floor. She ran to the garden and whispered to the night sky, "If only I could go." Just for a moment. And then a shimmer, a light, soft and golden, bloomed among the flowers. Stepped her fairy godmother, glowing, graceful, smiling with eyes full of love. With a gentle wave of her wand, the garden came alive. Pumpkins turned to carriages, mice to horses, rags to a gown that sparkled like moonlight. On Cinderella's feet appeared glass slippers, delicate yet strong, just like her heart. "Remember, my dear," the fairy godmother said, her voice floating like wind in leaves. "This magic lasts only until midnight." The carriage rolled toward the castle, its wheels spinning dreams into the night. As Cinderella entered the ballroom, every voice fell silent. The prince turned, his eyes meeting hers, and for a moment, the world seemed to stop. They danced, under chandeliers that glittered like stars, and for the first time in her life, Cinderella felt seen, truly seen, not as a servant, but as someone who belonged to the music, the laughter, and the light. But when the clock struck 12, the magic trembled. Bells echoed through the night as Cinderella fled down the palace steps, her gown fading back into rags. One slipper slipped from her foot, gleaming like a tiny moon on the staircase. She disappeared into the mist, her heart racing but smiling. Days passed. The prince searched every corner of the kingdom, holding that single glass slipper. "Find the girl who fits this shoe," he declared, "for she is the one my heart knows." House to house, door to door, he came at last to Cinderella's home. Her stepsisters tried and failed, their feet far too proud for such fragile beauty. Then Cinderella stepped forward, her voice soft but certain. The slipper slid onto her foot as if it had been waiting its whole life. In that moment, the room filled with golden light. The fairy godmother's magic returned, not from a wand, but from within Cinderella herself. For her kindness had been her truest spell all along. The prince took her hand, and the kingdom rejoiced. But even as she rode to the palace, Cinderella never forgot the ashes she came from, or the lesson that shimmered in her heart. No matter how dark the night may seem, a little kindness can turn even ashes into stars. And so, beneath skies of silver and dreams of gold, Cinderella's story became more than just a fairy tale. It became a promise that magic always finds those who keep hope alive.